I don't know that voice. So we just got to change it. I want something more. Ladies and gentlemen, this is JK'z Rewatchable. I'm your host, JK'z. I am joined by two esteemed gentlemen. I couldn't say that with a straight face if I tried. No, listen. Two of my closest friends are like they're my brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. It depends on where you look, because we all know the editing team. This guy, every time it gets edited, people swap around. I don't know. They just know magic and they just swap themselves around. Please welcome, as always, Mr. Eric Evans. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing good, guys. How you doing tonight?
Doing great. And as always, Mr. George Muzzy. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. This time I remember to hit the timer. So it's been a few weeks since we've done a show. I know George and I a week or so ago we did a show on, one of our favorite topics was Billy the Kid and all that. And anybody who's listening, look at we got great reviews. We got a lot of great comments on that. But the rest of the cast is just dealing with their life right now. We just want to send them the well wishes. Becky, Aline, John, and Jacqueline. My wife is out in the living room. Just some of our cast members, our friends, our beloved friends, are just dealing with some life things right now. Nobody needs to know what that is, so just wanted to send them positive vibe. So if you're in the New York State like we are, have you guys had much sunshine, or have you had more rain in the last month and a half?
I say rain. Too much.
Yeah. It seems to, like, I had Monday, a lot of us had Monday off. Monday was a nice day, but it was so wet from the previous days, couldn't do anything. Right. And then like a couple days during the week was okay, and then it started raining again.
Tuesday was about the best
day. Yeah. And what was I doing? I was at work, like most everybody else, and
exactly.
Coming up on the weekend, supposed to be somewhat dry, but it's gonna be 50. It's gonna be like 50 degrees, so it's like
and as we were talking on the pre-show before we started recording, everybody that is listening or familiar with us, everybody knows I had a new deck built, a 9 foot by 14.
Yeah,
I really like to stain it eventually, but I need like 3 weeks worth of just nothing but sunshine to do that. And the back part of my lawn, it is so wet that the wife mowed the other day, but she couldn't mow this one section. So I don't know. It sucks. I mean, when we were younger, we wouldn't really care, right? Because who cares about mowing a lawn at 15, 17, right? But now that we all own our own homes and it's our own property, it's like, shit, I really got to do this. But we literally can say as men, there really is no time to do it, because
not if you work for a living. I mean, if you have a job, you have the responsibilities and
I got home at 5, and what am I gonna do? I mean, if it finally dries out, what am I gonna do? Mow for an hour? I mow 4 acres, so yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Wow,
I thought I had it rough. I mow like an acre.
Wow, I got an acre. Okay, do you know what, George?
Well, we own 9.5, but I don't mow the whole thing. We just basically bought the other 5.5, so nobody would build next to us.
Oh, right on, perfect. Yeah. I mean, I got to eventually get outside. Got to get the mulch down, but I mean, it's constantly raining, so I don't know. This weather sucks.
We got plants and stuff we got to plant, and we got so much stuff, and it's just like, when?
Right.
Yeah.
Before you know, the growing season will be all over.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I can't even go out and really weed eat because the grass is just still too wet, and it just looks like shit. I don't know. Like, I need one good weekend, which is probably going to be the following next weekend, but I'm going to be out golfing with my buddy Steve and Glenn. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. So it's been a few weeks since we all got together on a show. So it's just sometimes it's just like, Eric, you were at a special event a week ago. You're wearing the hat. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, we I went out there to Indianapolis. Well, actually, we went to Cincinnati first. Went out to Cincinnati Reds game and the Cubs game out in Cincinnati. Went to a game on Friday night, and then we went over to Indianapolis for the Indianapolis 500 weekend. Seen a lot of good racing. Went to one of the biggest crowds that Indianapolis 500's had since 2008. So a lot going on out there. Like we were just talking about rain and stuff. They had a bunch of rain before the Indy 500 came around, and that came around, and it kind of went away for a little bit, and had about an hour delay when the 500 started. So the rain came back and showed its head a little bit, but other than that, it worked out really good. It was really good weather. Not super hot, kind of like it was here bbefore I left, but there was a few nice, but the ball game was good. But yeah, it was a time I go every year to this, our fourth year. I go with my son. He buys the tickets, and he buys the tickets. I buy the hotels, and I take my car and all that kind of stuff. And it's a father-son trip. We get together and do it. And it started back, say, 4 years ago. I came home one day from work, and when he's living at home, and he says, "Hey, Dad," he says, "you want to go to the Indy 500?" And I'm like, just like that, it's like, okay, yeah, sure. Why? What's the deal? He's like, "I just bought tickets to go." I'm like, "No way." He's like, "Yep, I bought tickets to go. We're going to go in May." So we got the tickets, and we've been going ever since. He said, "You never got a chance to go with your dad. I remember you always talking growing up that you always wanted to go there, and you never had a chance." And, as you guys know, my dad's not here anymore. So, he made it happen with him and I, and he says, "I'm going to buy him until I go to the ground." He says, "I'm going to have him for the rest of my life." So
that's awesome.
He's got two Indy 500 tickets for, as long as I want to go or somebody else wants to go.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend it. Even if you're not a race fan, you can go down in the general missions, down in the infield. They have the Snake Pit, the legendary Snake Pit concert hall. You can watch music, and if you're into partying and the drinking, if you want to do that. I'm not much into that, but yeah, you can have a great time. The race is going on, you see a concert going on, and have a few beers and forget about life for a while. Just that's what I like about going out there, other than spending. I mean, it's the best thing is spending time with my son, but it's just nice to shut it off, go see a different city, different sights and scenes, and talk to people that you'd never imagine you'd run into. There's some of the nicest people out there that just enjoy what you're doing. We're all race fans, and just enjoy one day of celebration for the world's biggest race. So
absolutely,
really what it was. I mean, we were safe. We didn't get any problems out there. We went out and back, no problems, and can't complain. A lot of driving, but it is what it is. It's just the way it is. But I look forward to it every year. The only downfall of it is I don't get to be home and celebrate my daughter's birthday, because her birthday is on May 25th.
Yeah, and she's currently on vacation roaming as right?
Yeah, I got home on 10 o'clock on Monday morning, and they were ready to roll out of town Monday at noon. So I came into town, and my daughter and wife they're in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep.
They want
I enjoy seeing the pictures and all the yummy stuff that they're trying. So
oh yeah. I just talked to them today, and they're having a good time, and going shopping and going to the aquarium and whatever they want to do. So something different.
Absolutely.
They've never done that before. It was their first big trip. So
yeah,
it was cool.
Yeah. George, do you have we'll get to what next month is for you and your wife, but do you have any immediate plans? I mean, May is almost over, but other, go if you don't have like anything, you can tell what June is for you and your wife. If you like.
We're taking a week off in June. We're not going anywhere. Actually, that might be the week we're gonna get all of our things we want done at the house done. I have the same contractor come in that Jeff had do his deck and whatnot. We just have a few things that, like the floors, obviously when they made them a little cheaper than, they used OSB, and he's gonna replace a couple soft spots, and we have a door that we ordered, and he's gonna install that. Then he's gonna put a small deck on the back as well. Just a couple little things that we've needed done.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, the next month is our me and my wife's 30th wedding anniversary. So, but every year for multiple years, we've taken that week off.
Mhm.
We're actually this year we're starting it the weekend of our anniversary and then the following weekend. And that's, that on the 21st, we're all getting together. A bunch of us are getting together. You guys are going to be there, and we're going to meet up at Becky's house. And
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, just kind of hang out and cook some food and,
Right.
whatever comes up,
Right.
Yeah. This is where I'm going to make George laugh and say some bad things. Am I supposed to bring anything?
Wow.
You've already asked like how many times?
Wow.
Wait, hold on.
I'm gonna have I know that week I'm gonna have to remind you exactly what to bring.
I just got one request. I got one request. Who's bringing the cucumber and the zucchini?
Oh, I'm sure Aline will. If their garden comes out good this year, I mean, with the water and whatnot,
They should be pretty healthy.
Yeah.
No, I know what I'm bringing. I have it wrote down somewhere. I think I don't know. Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get a reminder.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll say for one, and then I'll get a bunch of middle finger emojis because for all of our listeners or viewers, I have what they call a memory disorder. My memory is like Jello, and we go back to when we were all doing a surprise at our friend Becky's house for Christmas Eve, and I had the date wrong, and I wasn't arguing, but I'm like, no, I know it's this day that, and three people were like, no, look at your goddamn calendar.
What brought that up was Becky in the other group chat, because she didn't know that we were having the private group chat without her. And she mentioned in the group chat that included her, she goes, so what am I supposed to have? Am I supposed to have anything ready on Tuesday? And Jeff on the other chat says, doesn't Becky mean Wednesday? Like, no. Why would we meet on Christmas Day? We said Christmas Eve. And he goes, yeah, Wednesday. He goes, no, Tuesday.
And I physically had to get on my calendar on my phone and be like,
was it May?
Shit. Yeah. So
not just that. Didn't you ask your wife too? And she goes,
yeah.
You said, well, what day is Christmas Eve? And she goes, Tuesday. And he goes, oh.
Which is ironic because for 20 some years, my wife has gone to her best friend in Geneva because they always do. They have a big, huge family. And I'm like, yeah, don't worry. We're going to have plenty of time on Wednesday or whatever. And then it was just, yeah. So basically the whole point of this part right there is my memory is like mush and it's horrible. It's horrible. So, and I get roasted about it a lot, which is good because that's just my moniker for the show is I can't even pretend that I have a bad memory because but anyway, so as for upcoming June, obviously we're gonna celebrate with George and his wife Jen. I think I'm just working because July is going to be loaded with graduations. My wife goddaughter is graduating from Geneva, and then her best friend, another one of her best friend's son, in Waterloo, and then my niece's daughter in Pennsylvania. We were invited to that, so plus with the wife getting a new car, doing the renovations on the house, and I don't know if we're gonna. I mean, our anniversary is the first week of August, the 1st of August. I mean, so I'm not really sure if we're gonna do anything, but so yeah, we got a couple busy July and August is coming up, so.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I've got quite a bit myself. I'm really busy the next June, July. I'll be gone every other weekend. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, traveling.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna go to Detroit this weekend, but we decided not to go. I was gonna go to an IndyCar race up in Detroit again. We've been doing that every year for 3 years now, and this will be the first time we missed it. But I don't know. I just didn't feel like going this year. It's just a lot of driving.
Is Detroit on the track or on the road?
No, it's on the road course.
On the road, yeah.
Right on the road, and that's what's cool about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't cost anything to go to the race. It's absolutely free.
Right. Yeah.
And unless you want to sit in the grandstands, but it's free. You can walk all over the city streets and watch the race.
I was gonna say the grandstand. I mean, it's just like being anywhere else. I mean, you won't see them, and then here they come.
Right. Yeah. Noise is unbelievable. Oh,
yeah.
God.
Oh, I
It's so
imagine.
cool. Oh,
I imagine bouncing off the buildings and whatnot.
Yeah. It's awesome.
I'm not a car guy or a race fan, but listening to what you guys were just saying, I think I would be interested in that. So
you would.
I think I would actually enjoy that.
I've never been to anything Indy, but I've been to, and now I know we live pretty close to a NASCAR track, but I've never been there.
Okay.
But I've been to
Watkins.
Yeah. But I've been to 2 different NASCAR tracks and watched them race. My favorite 2 are the 2 short tracks, Martinsville and I don't know why I can't think of it. Bristol.
Okay.
Bristol was fun, and if you ever go to that one, I say buy the cheap seats way up in the top of the grandstand, because you can see the entire track. It's a half-mile track. And I never went when it was dirt.
You're right. I didn't either. I've never been to it.
I don't even think they do that anymore. I think they stopped doing that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't a big thing. It didn't get over as good as they thought it would.
Right. Yeah. It's on my bucket list to go.
Yeah.
I've been to Martinsville.
Yeah.
Martinsville
is, like I said, the difference between those 2 tracks is like night and day. I mean, even though they're both about the same length,
right?
Martinsville is flat.
Yeah.
So
very flat.
At times, like around the corners, they're literally going like 60 mile an hour, like 55, 60 mile an hour. And down the straightaway, they're doing 120. So they go from 50 to 120. But on Bristol is banked more than Daytona.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing like 140 all the way around the track. I mean, I think Martinsville, the average lap time is like 25, 30 seconds. The average Bristol lap is like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly. 15 or 16 seconds.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Eric, did you say that you go out to Detroit with the family or your son?
Or just me and my son go.
Listen, here's just an idea for next year. If we all can swing it, if George wants to go, we'll make a guy trip out of it.
Oh, heck yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't know if I could sit and watch, cars just go around. I mean, I'm not putting anybody down.
No.
Right.
But I was envisioning listening to you guys, so you could hear them over here, and then all of a sudden in Detroit they come and I think that would be really cool. I would be down for that.
Go online and just check it out. Go on the YouTube video, check it out. The Downtown Grand Prix IndyCar, and I'm telling you what, it's awesome. The noise is just unbelievable. You can walk around the
think about next year.
Yeah, you can walk around the whole course. They don't charge you anything.
Actually, I know a lot of people that do that at Watkins Glen. They don't buy a seat because it's a road course. They just buy like a general admission and they walk around the track.
Like that's what I'm saying. But you don't have to buy anything.
No. Yeah, these are just on the streets of Detroit.
Yeah. And you can go from one turn down by the,
because they do it.
Awesome.
They do that in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
Mostly not in America. I mean, Indy goes all over the world.
Right. Yeah, there's
but let's this. I mean, let's think about it. Let's think. I would love that. That'd be cool. And it's a good thing that we know somebody who works at a ticket booth at Watkins Glen.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Right.
Yeah, but seriously, I would be up for a road trip to Detroit.
It's 6 hours if you go. 6 hours.
Okay.
6 hours. You know, I normally go through Canada. It's a little bit closer. It's a little easier to drive than going through like Cleveland, Toronto, or Toledo, and up that way. I usually go up across the border at the Peace Bridge and then go over on the Queens Highway 402 and go right across to Canada, right to Detroit. Go across the bridge and come right in.
Now to do that, do you just need the real ID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I have an enhanced license, so
yeah, you're good.
I don't right now, but I don't fly anywhere anymore, and I don't, so I didn't really need it, so I just haven't gotten it. But
okay, yeah, you have to have that for the
Well, I know I know it doesn't take much. My daughter has it because she goes to anime conventions, and they went to one in Canada, and they they drove into Canada, so that she needed her license. This was before now any domestic flight you need it, but they drove up there. As a matter of fact, right now she's in Sandusky, Ohio, at one.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. I think all you need is like an enhanced license or a passport.
Well, I never got a passport. I never needed one. Because when I went overseas, my military ID was my passport.
Yep. Yeah, why have one if you don't need it?
The closest thing that I was ever at for what your daughter is doing was out in Boston. It was called PAX East. I had taken my daughter out there, so it was for YouTube. It was for every gaming thing that you can possibly think of. So that's about it. And people were doing the cosplay. They were dressed up like what
different video game characters.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I
thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah. My daughter and her friends, they make all their own costumes, and they get dressed up. I mean, I think she took like 3 or 4 different costumes to wear something different every day.
Awesome.
I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah. I think this one in Sandusky, but I think during the week, like Wednesday, Thursday, it didn't start until later, because this morning she was at a zoo, because she sent me pictures of tigers, because she knows how much I like tigers.
Oh, that's cool.
And she sent me pictures of tigers this morning.
Did you see Tommy Boy out there?
I don't know what she's seeing out there. I know what you're saying.
I was thinking that too.
They're in. That's where she's at right now. Is in Sandusky, Ohio. I think it's
Thank you for stealing my joke. Yeah. Thank you for stealing my joke, Eric. I was gonna.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah.
I had to say it.
Well, as soon as he said Sandusky, Ohio, I'm like, Tommy. Yeah. I'm like, man, that's a great movie.
Yeah, I don't know if they planned on going to the amusement park or not while they were there. I think she's been to it before. I think a school trip took them there to Sandusky before. So she's been there before, but she didn't drive. This time she drove out.
Oh, okay.
Last time she rode a bus, but.
So going back, going back to the races, I just thought about one. There's a road course a little closer, a street course, but I don't know how it all works. Is in Toronto. They go IndyCar.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I was gonna say I think they do.
Right, but I don't know if it's like Detroit. You know how it's no charge like around the city streets. If they charge in Toronto, I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, I don't know.
They may charge to go around. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, but we got time to plan that and all that. The closest racetrack to me and to Eric is Black Rock up in Dundee.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Black Rock.
Yep.
But what is that, stock car? Or I'm not a car guy. I don't.
It's a
Yeah,
dirt track, right?
dirt track.
Yep.
Yeah. Most of the ones around here are dirt track.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
A lot of
As
people.
far as I know, the only asphalt track is Watkins Glen International. So
Yeah, within the area.
yeah.
Mhm. It's true.
Yeah, we used to go to dirt races all the time. It was, it was fun. I mean,
Right. It's just, yep.
but it's
Yeah.
nothing like seeing the cars do
Yeah.
150 to 200 miles an
Oh,
hour.
you wouldn't. Oh, geez.
Screaming.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I mean,
Yep.
I remember I didn't go to this one, but I remember, like I was saying, Bristol,
Yeah.
you know how I said it was such a short track. I remember seeing the leader get a flat tire,
Hmm.
go into the pits. And when you go into the pits, because the laps are so fast,
Yeah.
under green, you lose 2 laps. You go
Oh,
2
yeah.
laps behind.
Mhm.
100 laps later, because he had 4 brand new tires, he was
Mhm.
leading the race again.
Later it. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But seriously, I would really be interested in going to Detroit or to Toronto.
Yeah.
The
Fun.
4 of us, and
It's
I
like
think that'd be really cool.
yeah, I mean, it's a big festival, really, what it is. And, the bonus is the race cars. But, for the people that don't go, I mean, there's a lot of people that don't go, like, to the Indy 500 for the race. They go for the, they'll go in the infield and go to the concert, or just hang out, people watch, whatever, just do something, for the day. Not necessarily racing, It's fun to be around the environment,
Yeah, I think it's something that we should consider. If I think it'd be freaking cool like that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I mentioned earlier, but I went to the Little Indy 500 when I was out there on Saturday night. That was something new that we never done before. And we went to that. I'm telling you right now, that was so much fun. These little sprint cars, they went around this 1/4-mile track, and no joke, they were doing 9 to 10-second laps. And they did 500 laps. And I'm telling you what, man, they were doing 25 laps in like 5 minutes or less. It's unbelievable. I'm like, it was so exciting, these bank track, these little cars going around, and they don't stop. It's like, they don't stop till they wreck. And they wreck.
I think it would, for me, I think it would be interesting and fun to go, because I know that you guys are car guys, and I would see the excitement. So I think, but if we all did do this, who's in charge of me?
Yeah, we all will be. It'll be a big task.
We'll just let them walk off, and look at the cars.
Yeah, we'll put a leash on.
You won't even get me one of those retractable leashes?
I was gonna say, put a leash on you.
We could do that. That might be fun.
Hey, when this gets edited and uploaded, you got to see George's reaction. He was just like, he was basically saying, "Not me."
They'll keep you in line, believe me. There's plenty of officers that are doing their job very well. You get out of line, they'll let you know.
I would never do such a thing.
None of us do.
Yeah. One of the races I thought was cool is it's out in California. I didn't go to it, but it's on an airport. It's at an airport. I don't think it's Indy cars. I think it's Formula One. I think it's a Formula One race.
Oh, okay.
Which is even faster than the Indy cars.
Oh, yeah.
If you possibly can believe it, because the Indy cars are crazy fast.
Oh, yeah.
And Formula One has more of the European guys in it and whatnot. Yeah. That basically every day going to work, they drove that fast. So
right. Yeah.
So let's just think about it. I mean, we got a whole year.
Oh, be fun.
Don't ask me to remember. No. But no, I would highly be interested. I think it'd be really cool. So
yeah, definitely. You just got to remember. I mean, just keep in mind that they may not, if they don't renew the race in Detroit. I mean, this is the 4th year they've been doing it, so it's all on funding and sponsorship, and
Right.
I was kind of wondering if they were going to have it again this year because they didn't say nothing until late, so it could be canceled. I don't know. Depends on the city. If they want to keep putting money in it and all that stuff.
So if they put it in the schedule and they'd canceled, would they have done it on the track in Detroit?
No, actually, what they did, they moved it from Belle Isle in Detroit for many, many years. For 30 years, it was at Belle Isle. It's basically kind of an excluded island in Detroit. And they moved it. And the reason they moved it was to allow people with less money that can't afford race tickets and what have you to be able to go to the race. Like it started out downtown like 35 years ago. And then they moved it to Belle Isle to this island, and excluded a lot of people. If you didn't have tickets, you couldn't get in the island or in that area of the city. So, they're trying to build back Detroit. I don't know. Much about it, but they are. It's coming back. It's coming back. Detroit is. It's really good. So they're trying to get people to come to the city and watch the race at a low cost, at no cost, basically, and have a good time. Go to the festivals, go to the markets, go buy things. Vendors are selling things. Raising money.
Just think of where racing's come from, where it started.
Yeah.
Because even the Daytona 500. Originally, that was literally run on the beach.
On the beach, exactly. Yeah.
Really.
On the roads that run along the beach.
Yep.
They just blocked They just blocked enough of it off, and they raced on the beach.
Yeah.
So you could be, if you were a surfer, you could be surfing and watching the race.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I've actually been there. I've been there down there and seen that where it's at. It's pretty cool. But so it's there's a lot to racing. I mean, that's why
I think originally Watkins Glen used part of the town.
Absolutely. The downtown race.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's another thing that we could all meet together down at downtown. It's in September. That's absolutely great too.
What would be cool is what is it, 24 hours at Watkins or whatever it's called? I don't know what it's called.
The 24-hour
where they race like for a whole day.
It's a 6 hours of the Glen that's coming up.
It might be. It might only be 6 hours now. I know originally it was 24 hours. It was like
it was.
Wow. I mean, it was
I went to it. Been to it.
Yeah. And they had, obviously it's not one driver. They have teammates.
They rotate out.
Yeah.
Do different steps.
Otherwise you would never, there's no way you couldn't. Look how some of them look after driving 3, 4, 3.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Imagine what they'd be like after a day. Oh, an entire day.
Burnout.
Yeah, that would be horrible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they wouldn't. You wouldn't be able to hear a thing. I mean, you would ask them. The person interviewing them would ask them a question and be like, "What? Huh?" I just hear an engine right now. That's all I hear.
Right. Pretty much.
I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take a commercial break, and we'll come right back. Go ahead and get your drinks, bathroom break, do whatever you got to do. And what the? Okay.
Be a midget.
See, I don't know. I need to get my mouse fixed because my fat finger keeps on hitting everything. Everybody, we're back with part 2 of Just Guy Talk. It's just this is JK'z Rewatchable Hour. I am J Dubs with my excellent friends, my brothers Eric and George. We were just talking about some local baseball. George had suggested that we get a bunch of people, all of us together, to go see a local, whether it be Rochester Red Wings or the Auburn Doubledays or
Geneva. The Geneva Red Wings, I don't know what it is now, but I know when we went, it was like $3 to get in.
Yeah.
General admission, like $3.
Yeah. Sometimes you get free tickets.
Oh yeah. Sometimes the local radio station sponsors a game and they foot the bill for everybody coming in. Have you ever watched some I know The Rookie?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah. There's a couple others where they're playing minor league ball.
Yeah.
and they have like during the 7th inning stretch, they'll do like a competition. They'll bring in fans and they'll do something and they can win something.
Yep.
Well, literally at Geneva, one time they did, the radio station was sponsoring it, and my daughter was picked, and she went out and stood on second base. And the guy from the radio station, who's supposed to be pretty fast, and he was pretty quick, was on home. When they said go, they both started running. First one to home wins. Now, my daughter was probably 9 or 10. Well, when it seemed like he was about to catch her and he rounded third, he accidentally slipped.
Yeah, yeah.
And she won. Obviously, she was gonna win. That was the idea. And
Yeah.
I think she got like 4 tickets to, I don't know, Seabreeze or Darien Lake or something like that. Then there was another time where her and another girl were both picked from the crowd. And I don't remember what they did, but they do all these little competitions and they include the fans. And now my daughter won on that one, but later that same night, my son won something. They had I think it was a double header that night. So they had a second competition. And the idea was, the Red Wings are Minnesota Twins, I think. I think. But whoever their rival is, they had a guy dressed up as their rival.
Oh, okay.
Hidden in the crowd.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be when they said, okay, you can start looking for him. And they told what he looked like, what he had on and everything. And I tapped my son on the shoulder and I pointed up. We were actually standing on the ground. We weren't even in the stands.
Oh my God.
Down along third base, there's just a big grassy area where we stood behind the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And because we could catch foul balls back there and whatnot. And I pointed up into the stands and he went running up into the stands and got him.
Wow.
And grabbed him.
Nice.
And I think my daughter won Darien Lake tickets. My son won Seabreeze tickets. And I said, well, we're not going to go to both because we're talking it was late July. So we decided, and their mother wasn't with us that night. I called her and we decided which one we wanted to go to. And my daughter took the tickets to the other one and went and found the girl that she went against and gave her the tickets.
Oh, okay. Nice.
They're like, we're not going to use them. Right. Why not give it to the other girl who didn't win?
Yeah.
Right. That's good.
So
awesome.
Good.
So yeah, it was, but they do that kind of thing where they include the crowd and the food was good and it wasn't expensive or nothing.
So I have an important question.
Yeah.
Eric already knows it's going to be full of shit anyways. So let's say we do go to a sporting event, all of us, right? We get everybody together.
Right.
And the potential for the kiss cam. Which one of you might grab it?
Yeah, right. They did that in Cincinnati when we were out there. I told my son, I'm like, I'm not kissing you. I don't care how much I love you.
You gotta be the one. You gotta be the one guy that brings the sign, the sign, just in case you get on kiss cam. Like I know everybody's seen the video. I know everybody's seen the video where they showed a kiss cam and the guy holds up a sign and the sign says "sister" and point and with the arrow pointing toward her.
I have to look for that.
Yeah.
I'll have to look for that.
Right.
So I used to go to Syracuse games, and
I've been
and obviously our rival at that time was Georgetown. And so we were beating them, and so you know how they during the commercial break they panned to everybody. Well, they were doing a kiss cam, and then they panned to the 2 Georgetown players, and so but it got bleeped out because the one guy was like this because you can see on the thing upstairs, but. I think that's just funny. And my first trip to the old Yankee Stadium, I went with a buddy of mine, Roger, and my daughter was just like 6 or 7 months, and I said I wanted. We got there early, and I said I wanted to get a real ball, right? Because you can buy a ball anywhere.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I shit you not, and my buddy dies laughing every time I tell this story in front of him. We were watching batting practice, and Mariano Rivera, if you don't know who he is, probably the greatest closer of all time. He was out there just snagging flies, right? So Gabe Kapler, and I was begging for a ball. I mean, however old I was, 20-some years, it doesn't matter. I'm like a little kid begging everybody, right? And I'm like, I just want a ball for my daughter, right? So Gabe Kapler, who was playing for the Boston Red Sox at the time, he snagged the ball. He tried to throw it up to the crowd, fucking around with everybody. And I was like, goddamn. So you can see the countdown. So the batting practice was getting over with, and I saw this father with 2 little boys, and they were trying to do this right. I'm like, I said, is this their first game? Thinking, I'm an adult. I want to be nice. And he was like, yes. I brought my boys. I'm like, come on up here. Batting practice is almost done. Wouldn't you fucking know it? Gabe Kapler catches the ball, jumps up, puts it in that kid's glove.
Oh, really?
My buddy was laughing so hard he was crying, and I'm just like,
right.
And of course I'm like, what,
right, yeah,
but yeah. I mean, to me, like George, you were saying, you could catch foul balls. That is different than buying just a regular baseball to me.
Right.
So
yeah. We went to the Binghamton Mets one time. The only reason we went was because the Trenton Thunder was playing there. And the reason why that was a big deal was because, do you remember when Derek Jeter got hurt?
Yeah, his eye,
Yeah.
Is that when he crashed? Yep.
He went, I think that's the one. And he went down. When he came back, he went to Trenton Thunder.
Yeah.
So we went there so we could see Derek Jeter. Was the only reason. I mean,
why not?
Why not? I mean, he did okay. He didn't do great that particular night, but
cool.
but he got a hit, so it was cool.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
It was just something to do. I mean, not that far away, really. And
couple hours, 2 or 3 hours,
yeah. I don't even think it's that.
Right.
Yeah.
So outside of our listeners and viewers, most people don't know. When I grew up a wrestling fan, so I went out to Ohio. I tried to be a wrestler, but I was in over my head. So, other than meeting a few, wrestlers here and there, the only other professional athlete that I ever met that I knew and I became friends with, he was the greatest baseball player ever to come out of Waterloo. His name was Scott Bartuka. I think his pitching record, I could be wrong, was 39-1. He was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays.
Really?
And he played on the USA team with I'll have to look it up. And the only reason why I met him is because he was friends with some of my other friends, and that's just how it goes. But he ended up his knee or his Achilles, and he ruined his career.
Yes.
But he played on our beer league softball, and he played first base. I mean, he was like 6'6", whatever, and everybody's like, don't hit it to first base, because I mean, if you were drafted in the first round by the Toronto Blue Jays, that says something about your.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But other than that, that I really haven't met another professional athlete that I knew. So
okay.
I don't know. I don't remember his name. He was the backup. I mean, we're talking back in the late 80s. He was the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't remember his name. He played at Syracuse.
Oh yeah.
McPherson?
No. McNabb.
Was
no,
that?
No, he was 90. He was 90s.
Yeah, he was 90s. This was before. This was like the late 80s. Anyways,
late 80s.
He came to South Seneca.
It might have been not McPherson.
Was it McPherson?
McPherson.
I know him and the coach had a really close last name. Because the coach for Syracuse at the time
Yeah.
was either McPherson or McPherson.
McPherson was a coach.
Nah,
Was
nah.
it
So
Ron
maybe-
Jaworski?
Nah, I don't know.
Did he go to
I don't
Syracuse?
remember. But he played for Syracuse, and then he was drafted to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Randall Cunningham.
Could have been.
He
Could
goes-
have been, maybe. Was he the starter?
So I just typed in the 1980s backup, and it has Ron Jaworski, Joe Piskaric, Randall Cunningham, Jim McMahon. Love the guy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Super Bowl
So
champ.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's
but
a good
he
one. I
came-
don't. Jeez.
But
I'm
he
not-
came to South Seneca.
Did
He
he
went.
really?
Whoever, I'm pretty sure he went to Syracuse University, though. I'm pretty sure.
Right. What did he go to South Seneca? Did he like for the DARE program or something?
I think.
Yeah,
I think he
probably.
knew. Somehow, Mr. Mr. Guinan knew him.
Kind
Yeah,
of. Look for school.
and he came over and.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys were into because remember when we first started high school when I started, it was only 9 through 12. By the time I graduated, it was 6 through 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
so it might have literally been I might have been a freshman or a sophomore when he
Sophomore.
came in.
Okay.
But
I don't know. I just looked up on Google. I mean, it very well could have been. I mean,
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure he played for Syracuse. I'm pretty
Syracuse.
sure he did, and he was a backup quarterback.
Awesome.
He had
Mhm.
I think he had just been drafted. Like
Mhm.
that was the year he was drafted. So
Right.
I mean, obviously you didn't know he was going to be the backup, but you were pretty sure that the other guy was because the other guy, whoever was a starter, was pretty good. So
Mhm.
you
Right.
have to beat him out in the preseason to get the job. So
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
well, I mean, look at Russell Wilson. He was drafted in the third
Yeah.
round, and he took over the Seattle starting job. And other than being stupid in Denver, he was on his way to a Hall of Fame career. So
there's a lot of players that are drafted high that weren't all that great in the NFL, but there was guys that were drafted way down that weren't great in college that were phenomenal. I mean,
oh yeah,
I don't like the guy at all, only
Tom
because
Brady.
of the team he was on.
Tom
Tom
Brady.
Brady.
We all know Tom Brady had a mediocre college career.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was Mr. Irrelevant.
Mediocre.
Mhm.
And to do what he did in the NFL was like, well, where did that guy come from?
Yeah,
I mean, where was he drafted? I don't know what even round.
He was Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last one drafted.
Yeah, he was like way down on the list, drafted that year, and
I think 7th round. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, and he came out and it's like, wow, where did this guy come from? You know.
And if it wasn't for Drew Bledsoe being hurt, the Tom Brady story never would have happened.
Right.
not the way it did. Absolutely not.
No, not as early, and it wouldn't have been as many rings. I mean, yes, he would have gotten. He might have gotten the rings, but he wouldn't have been the starter.
Team. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we can always talk about football another time, but I just want to say this is just my opinion, and people are like, really? Everybody blames Tom Brady for cheating, and I'm just going to say a few things here. We all know that they call it the Deflategate, right? Now, first of all,
it was within. It was within. It was within the legal.
Right, but you're not telling me that in this entire season, the center. So if you watch football, you know that the center and the quarterback work on their exchange and cadence and all that. You mean to tell me that the center didn't know the difference in the ball? The running back?
Okay.
The receiver, everybody, yeah.
Okay, so who else on the field touches the ball every time there's a down besides the players?
The officials.
Referee. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. So why didn't they say something?
Yeah.
Why didn't they go over to the coach and say, "Hey, Belichick, what are we doing here?
I believe
what's going on?"
I believe it was in the legal, like pounds per square inch. I mean, there's a level, there's a low and a high, and it just happened. Okay,
Check
so
it.
So the ones that the Patriots got to use were a lower one, and the ones that the opponents wore were a higher one, but they were both within reason.
Yeah, they didn't care.
But everybody wants to blame
makes
Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady. But I'm sorry, I don't know who the center is, but I can tell you who the running back on 3 of the Super Bowls that was LeGarrette one.
Yeah.
So and I love football. So and we've all at one time played football. When you get the ball, what do you do with it? Do you hold it up here or do you tuck it like this? Right? You can't tell me that the receiver, or even if he threw an interception or a fumble, that somebody didn't know the difference in the ball. They're just total bullshit, whatever. And I will say
another perfect example, like we said, the refs. Let's say, I don't know. Let's say they're playing the Rams, and the Rams fumble the ball, and Patriots pick it up. They almost always change the ball.
Yeah,
well, the referee has the ball that the Rams just used.
Yeah.
He tosses it to the side, and they toss in another ball. Now the Patriots have the ball, and you can't tell the difference 10 seconds apart.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Well, all I know in most pro sports and college is they give both teams balls. So you play with your own ball. You don't play with the other team.
Right.
You're right. If they intercept it, if they fumble it, they recover it, you would think that player would have said, hey, something's going on here with their ball.
And some defenders, if they score a touchdown off an interception or fumble, they keep the ball.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, so my whole point was everybody wants to blame Tom Brady because he was the face of, blah, 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 blah. But there's other people involved. So so you mean when the Patriots blew out a team 52-0 and the backup came in,
right?
I just whatever. I think it's so stupid.
But I mean, something like that. That's just preference. I mean, the other team could have. The other team could have uninflated their balls a little bit. If they wanted to. I mean,
it's frustrating.
I knew Jeff would laugh at that one.
But I tried to hold it in, but with Eric's comment, and now, they could just inflate their balls if they want.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
right.
It's just.
The one thing I want to know is how the heck did Belichick stand up at all those press conferences they had, and with a straight face? He never laughed. I mean, how many times did they say the word balls?
I know.
It's like the guy never. I mean, the ones I seen on SportsCenter, I never seen him laugh. It's like, how the hell? It's like Bill Clinton going through the hearing you went through with Monica Lewinsky. It's like he never even laughed. It's like, how do they do this stuff? It's like, either they did it, and they knew they did it, so they had to cover their talent, So nobody, because the minute you freaking break a smile and know that you're going to get in trouble, it's right. And even if so, I mean, what's the punishment going to be? I mean, it's going to be a fine. Right.
It's not going to be
and lots of draft picks or something like that.
I mean, because if it happens in college, I mean, perfect example was UNLV. UNLV was dominating, and then they were found to be cheating.
The scandal.
They were ineligible. They were then I think for 10 years they were ineligible for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
So what do you do to a pro team? I mean,
money.
Like
they got lots of it. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Houston, like the Astros. I mean, they were clearly cheating.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And
no, I disagree.
You don't think they were cheating?
No. Okay, I'm going to tell you something.
You don't think that every time that a fastball was called and you heard the trash can banging in the outfield, that didn't tell the batter, hey, fastball coming?
They were doing it in the dugout. Forget about the outfield. They were doing it in the dugout.
But what is the difference to an NFL player on the sideline recognizing a play or whatever, or in basketball?
But,
I'm just saying
it's true. They're not reading the signs. there was somebody in the outfield. There was somebody in the outfield
with
reading the signs of the catcher.
With an Apple Watch.
Yeah. If
I don't.
if you
I don't
have,
know.
well, because here's the thing. Well, here's the thing.
But there again, there's
Players
refs out
get
there.
traded. Players get traded all the time, right?
Yeah.
Let's say today you are a pitcher for the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they trade you, and now you're playing for Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
You know what, let's say,
Right.
Jorge Posada's signs are.
Yeah.
So you know, hey, this is a fastball inside.
Yeah.
All you have to do is tell your new team that, and they can watch and look, oh, yeah, that's the sign for fastball inside.
Have you ever, we all have, when you watch an NFL game, you ever see somebody on the sideline hold up a number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Now, let me clarify. What I was referring to is they were saying that I think it was Jose Altuve. Sorry if I'm wrong. He was leading off second to get a better look.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's what I don't have a problem with that, because why not? And that, or maybe it was somebody else, but that's what they were saying. He was leading off second to get a better look. But I mean, I don't know.
All that, and there was signs going back and forth with an Apple Watch, and dugout.
Right.
The dugout, the coaches were involved, making noises, garbage cans when certain pitches came up.
It's one thing, like if a pitcher holds the ball a certain way when he's that's why they don't hold the ball behind their back anymore with a base runner
because
on.
people can see him. People
can see him, because if he's going to throw a fork ball, he's going to have his his hand a certain way. If he's going to throw a knuckle, he's going to hold his hand a certain way.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
But if so they don't do that now. Most of them don't hold their hand behind their back. But
if they do, they do it as a decoy, and they'll do it saying they're going to throw a fork ball, and then they put in their glove and they throw a curveball,
and they change it, because that's what they But me myself, I'm not ecstatic. Let's talk about the new rules in baseball. I'm not a big fan of the rules.
Yeah.
First of all, making second base, what was it, 6 inches bigger? Making the bases, 6 inches larger?
Right.
To promote stealing? Who's that promoting stealing for? The guys who are already stealing.
Right.
Your catcher that can't run from here to the can't run from here, 10 feet away without needing oxygen, isn't going to steal second base.
Right. And then they took the shift away. You can't.
Yeah, they took the shift away, and in my opinion,
how
many times have you seen it? I mean, I've seen Jason Giambi do it. I've seen Robinson Cano. I've seen several of the faster guys.
Ricky Hendricks.
Do a bunt double because they shifted him, because they just run it down the third base line, and no one's there to get the ball.
Well, it's like
so
unfair.
they get a double.
With all the rules changed, the only one I am happy, and I can't watch baseball because it's just like every other pro sport, and now college, it's all about money. But the one thing I am glad that they put an end to is the whole stepping out of the batter's box, adjusting your shoelaces, and I love Derek Jeter. I thought Derek Jeter was a great player, but if it's a ball, what's he do? He steps out.
Yeah.
Chuck Knobloch. Chuck Knobloch was terrible. He would step out and he would loosen his glove, tighten his glove, loosen his glove, tighten his glove like 7 times, and then do it to the other hand. And it's like, you didn't do anything. You watched the ball,
Red Sox,
8 inches outside the plate, go by. Why did you need to adjust the glove?
Exactly.
This is just my opinion.
I think they went too drastic on the pitch clock, though.
I like it. The pitch
I like it, but I think it'd be a little longer.
I'll tell you though, when you go to the Cincinnati game, Reds, when I went to that ball game, was the first game I went as a major league game since they put the shot clock in. And I'm telling you what, man, it is so much better going to a game now.
Oh, I'm sure. It does speed up. I get it. Speed up the game, but I think they may have gone a little drastic. They might have expanded it a little.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they did because I
Yeah.
think it was a little too short.
Right. I just think
Well,
it.
think about.
The original
I mean,
one.
I mean, if there's a X amount of time that you got to pitch, but if you got a guy on third and you got a guy on first that can steal second, and you got a 3-2 count, you may want to think a little. But yeah, I
Well,
mean, it is what
Well,
it is. But
and it
On
makes.
a 3-2 count, he's going automatic. That's
Oh
all.
yeah,
right.
definitely. That's how
Yeah.
it is now. They definitely go then.
but
Yeah.
maybe you want to think about what is his. What
But
have
if
you
you-
already thrown, and what can you get this guy to pop out or ground out? So
Right.
I mean,
Right.
I don't know.
I think
Right.
it prevents cheating too. You can't cheat as easy then
Right.
because it's
Right.
a lot faster and there's more things going on. Because
Yeah.
you're on a clock. Before you had all this time, all this stuff in between that was going on. Now it's just like you got to move,
Yeah.
and if you don't move,
I don't know the picture, but my favorite rule change. I do have a rule change that I really loved.
yeah.
Was when I can't think of his name and I don't remember what team he plays for in the majors, but I remember watching him in minor league. He's ambidextrous.
Hmm.
And he has a special glove that goes on either hand.
Mhm.
And
Not
a
Strasburg.
right-handed batter would come up to the plate. And now you want righty against righty, correct? Or am I
Yep.
backwards? Or is it lefty against righty that you want? I don't know.
Right.
Whatever they choose, he
Yeah.
goes to
Yeah.
that hand.
Mhm.
Well, a switch hitter comes up. He stands one way. The guy switches the glove. The batter moved to
Well-
the other side of the plate. The pitcher switched hands.
Oh, really?
And they kept doing that in minor leagues. Actually, when I saw him,
Hmm.
it was a Yankee-Boston game, and there was a rain delay. And during the rain delay, they were showing the game. And this guy come up, the switch hitter came up, and they
Oh.
kept going back and forth.
How many years are you going back? Are you going back to the one that got the perfect game? That was one arm.
I don't know.
Or one.
No.
Remember him?
Wasn't back that far. But
Who was that?
no, this was a guy. They during the rain delay, they were showing the minor league. It was the Staten Island Yankees were playing
Okay.
on the TV in New York City, and
New York City.
and whoever they were playing, this guy was playing for,
Hmm.
and he kept switching back and forth, and finally the umpire said,
No.
"Batter." No, he stood up and he said, "Batter, choose a side."
Right. You think
And
you're
once
the
the
old man?
batter chose a side,
Yeah.
he said, "Okay, pitcher, now throw your pitch."
Hmm.
And then told the batter, "You have to stay on that side."
Right. Holy cow! I was surprised you got away with that anyway.
So they made the
Normally-
rule. They made the rule that when a switch hitter comes to the plate against an ambidextrous pitcher,
Sure.
they have to choose a side
Hmm.
before the pitcher chooses what side he's pitching from.
Oh, I see.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. They,
You know,
because he did come up to the majors. He just came up as, I don't know if he was as good in the majors
Yeah,
as he
was.
was in the minors, and I don't remember what team he played for.
Yeah.
I researched it. The last one, was, man, I need an adult.
Hey, who was that Yankee? The famous Yankee that got the perfect game. I can't remember his name.
With
Paul
one arm.
Abbott.
Abbott,
Abbott.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Paul
Yeah.
Abbott.
Was that 90s? Or
That was the 90s. That was,
Early 90s, I think. Yeah.
okay.
I think so. The last person was a guy by the name of Pat Venditti. I don't know, for the Oakland A's, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Speaking of the Oakland A's, I got a little childhood memory of the old Yankee Stadium. The one and only time I ever been to that stadium. I think I was about 8 or 9 years old. I went with my dad, and we went out to right field and sat in right field. And my dad caught a home run from Reggie Jackson.
wow.
That game. Yeah, that was my own memory. I was so freaking short. I couldn't even. I remember going up to the stadium, and that place was like old. These stairs, you walk up the stairs. Yeah. But yeah, he caught a ball from Yankee.
Nice.
They're playing the Oakland A's when they were that day, and yeah.
So was it a Reggie Jackson Yankee home run or a Reggie Jackson Oakland home run?
Yeah.
Oh, Yankee. Okay.
Yeah, when he was with the Yankees.
Yeah, because he
You
played
have the
for
ball?
both.
Yep. He
You have
was
the
with the
ball?
Yankees. Yep. Hit it right field. That's where he was famous of hitting in the right field.
Yeah.
I remember my dad reaching up for it and he caught it barehanded.
Oh, nice.
Do you have the ball?
I have no idea whatever happened to it. I don't know. I don't know.
Darn.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was so young then.
Yeah.
Now, and then here's one other story I have.
Go ahead.
Being that Pete Rose is in the news here lately.
Right.
He actually, back in the day, he got back in the 2000s. He had a friend of his, or well, maybe it was the 90s. I guess I'd say late 90s. He had a friend of his on his softball team, and I think one of their kids or something were dying of some kind of a disease, some kind of cancer or leukemia or something like that. And he actually got a signed autograph ball from Pete Rose and gave it to this kid because this kid's
nice.
Hero was Pete Rose.
Right.
They sent a thing out to Cincinnati, and they got this ball signed for this kid, and they got it to him, and then a few days later he passed away. But at least they got him a ball and a signed autograph ball by Pete Rose. So I always think about that, and that's why Cincinnati is my second team, National League. I just like Cincinnati.
I like that. That.
It was always pretty cool. I mean, Pete Rose took it pretty hard in the media and whatever, but he still was a hell of a baseball player. And people can say what you want.
Now possibly next year, that ball will be worth a whole lot more.
Oh yeah. We still got it.
Now that he's eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I mean, I understand what some of the reason why he wasn't in Hall of Fame, but somebody got those 4,000 whatever hits. I mean, somebody.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I mean, as a player, he should have been in. I mean, it's like technically, not that I'm promoting steroids or anything, but technically, all of the guys that use the steroids should not be blocked from the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
Because at the time in the Major League Baseball, it was not illegal.
Nope.
Yeah.
I agree 110%.
Only the ones that have used it since should be blocked.
Exactly.
100%.
When it was not illegal, like Barry Bonds. Why should he not be? Why shouldn't he be in? I didn't like the guy. I don't like the guy. But
somebody hit the 729 home runs or whatever. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just want to give it. It was more than 755 because he has the record.
Oh, that's 755. You're right.
And Hank Aaron is 755. I mean, come on. I mean, think about it. Babe Ruth got what 714, I think.
Something like that,
But let's face it. I mean, the guy basically promoted back in that day alcohol and cigarettes and
child abuse.
And he's in. Yeah. And I absolutely love Babe Ruth though, but as a player.
Yeah.
Maybe not as a human, but as a player.
Yeah.
I respect him, I mean possibly he's possibly the greatest player of all because he not only could he get you all those hits and home runs and whatnot, but if you needed him to, he could pitch.
He was a pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah, he started out as a pitcher.
Yeah. He actually,
I think he has like 50 or some wins or something like that, right? More than that?
Something like that. He actually had a pretty low ERA. It was only like a 2-something.
Yeah.
It was below 3. I mean, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's because he even pitched for the Yankees a little. Not as often, but
look at the bats that they used back then.
Oh yeah,
a 38 ounce. Yeah,
right. I know,
right?
But the ball technology wasn't what it is now. Not even close.
No,
and they were not out of the park. It's like
and they had the spitball back then.
Yeah.
I mean, they could literally put a substance on it that would make the ball do things that you can't make it do.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
And they were still hitting it out of the park. I mean,
I don't know. I don't know.
I was just trying to think of a pitcher's name. Sorry.
I have a good baseball Hall of Fame story. Went to the Baseball Hall of Fame with my uncle. I was my uncle and my cousin, and I was probably 10 or 11. We went there, and we were actually in the All-Star game area of the Hall of Fame. And yeah, and we were just walking along, looking at all the pictures from everybody ever played in the All-Star game. They show, went year by year, and this guy came up, and I'll never remember his name. I'd have to see his picture, and then I would know. But he came up and he was just talking to us, to the three of us, and he said, "Ever been to an All-Star game?" And none of us had. And he goes, "I've been to one. Like to go back someday." And then, we just talked for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then he was gone. He left. We got probably 5 or 10 years farther in to the All-Star game. And it was like, that guy right there looks like that guy that just walked away.
Oh, cow.
We literally think we met the player that played, and that was the only year he had played.
Really?
Wow.
In the All-Star game. We were literally thinking that was him.
Probably was.
It was just, it was just, wow. I mean, he said he'd been to one and only one. So it's like, well, that could have been him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it looked a lot like him. I mean, if it wasn't him, it was a really good lookalike.
Excellent.
And just coincidental that we saw him right before we saw that picture. It was only it was only a minute or two after he had gone, and we only got a few years ahead. So it was still the early years of the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
interesting. So we're just coming up on just we got about like 5 minutes just left of but when we decided to, the three of us just jump on here, I know in months past we talked about once a month just doing like a bunch of guys, just I think this was very, I dare say just therapeutic,
yeah.
We really didn't have like a itinerary that we were going to stick to, and I just kind of like how we all just basically just stay here for the last hour just shooting the shit and laughing, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
I got one little story before we go. Make it quick.
Absolutely.
It was our first time we went to the Indy 500 that we sat in the seats, because the first year we sat in the infield just to see how it was. So the second year we go out and we sit in the seats, and so we're sitting next to this guy. My son sits next to him. It has a Pennzoil like racing shirt on, kind of business looking, like sponsors all over it and all this. And I told my son, I kept talking, like, man, that guy must be something with racing, like with a team or a has-been team or something. So I like I am, I talk to anybody pretty much. So I made talk with him for a few minutes, and I'm like, so you used to be in a race team or something or whatever, I see you got a Pennzoil sponsored shirt and all this on. He's like, yeah, I absolutely am. I was actually a business agent or a community relations person for Michelle Abbott. You ever heard of her? And I'm like, Michelle Abbott. I'm like, God, it sounds familiar. I think she used to be a driver of some type, right? He's like, for IndyCar. He's like, absolutely. She's the only woman in IndyCar history that's driven an Indy Lights and IndyCar and qualified for the races at the Indy 500. And he says, so he was this. So he says, look to your left, to your right. See that girl there, a blonde-haired girl, is sitting next to some kids? I'm like, yeah, that's Michelle Abbott. I'm like, no. I'm like, no way. He's like, I'm telling you, that's Michelle Abbott. I'm her business person, communicator. And if you don't ask her for her autograph, she says she's going to fire me. I'm like, I'm sitting here. I'm this lady. I have no idea who she is, other than just him telling me. He's like, ask her for her. And I sat there for 5 minutes. Like, how the heck am I going to ask this lady for her autograph? She's not going to know who I am, So I finally got enough, up to say something to her. And I'm like, hey, so-and-so over here, your business agent asked me to ask for your autograph. And she just started laughing. Funnier than heck. She's like, you told him that. She's like, that's all right. I'm glad you did. That's what I pay you for. So we sat there and talked for about 5 minutes. And she's like, where are you from? And this and that. She's like, give me your ticket. I'll sign an autograph for you. So I got an autograph from Michelle Abbott.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. She was there. She has 4 kids. She introduced me to her kids, and her husband was there. But she was there again this year. She sat right next to us. We have the same seats. They got the same seats. They buy like 7 or 8 different spots. So every year where this guy sits, there was a different guy sitting there this year. He wasn't there. So I asked this guy, I'm like, where was the guy that was here last year? He's like, oh, he'll be back next year. We rotate every 2 years. I'm like, so every other year I'm going to see this guy. I'm like,
there you go.
It's like a big family right in the grandstands.
Nice.
I'd have never thought, my son's like, oh my God. So we come home and got on YouTube and we watched some of the racing from back in like 2005. And we were actually at the race that she was racing in.
Oh,
wow.
When IndyCar come to Watkins Glen in 2005. She's, I told her I live close by Watkins Glen, and she's like, yeah, I remember being at that race, and I hated that race. She's like, that track is tough. I didn't do crap in that race. I finished like 30th in the race, but there's just one more part of the story. So this all goes on, and I'm talking to the guy through the day. We're just talking back and forth, and he told me a quick little story. He's like, when we raced at Watkins Glen, she did so bad, they thought there was something wrong with the motor in the car, right? So he writes this big article up and posts it in this national racing had, like information line back in the day. So all these teams see it and all these engine builders see it and all this, right? And he clarified it with Michelle before he put this out, basically saying the car didn't run good because of the engine. And she's like, oh, it looks good. Go ahead and run it. Put it in the press. It wasn't 2 hours later off this line. There's people calling him left and right, giving him a bunch of crap, saying, that ain't our motor problem. That's your guys' problem because you didn't set the car up right. Because they're all mad because it's a tight community in Indiana. They're all these engines. They don't want to look bad. And man, they said, you better take that article off right now, or you're going to see when you get back to Indianapolis, or you're never going to buy a motor from you guys again, or whatever.
Wow.
But yeah, he took a bunch of crap for that. But shows you the politics in racing. You got to be careful what to say, because when you're a competitor, and you're buying engines and cars and parts and stuff, and you're making somebody look bad, and you didn't set the car up right.
Yeah, wow.
Not always the engine problem.
Yeah.
So that was quite a story he told me. He's like, yeah, go online and you can check it out. She's a heck of a racer,
no,
cool.
That's pretty cool. Michelle, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Her name is Michelle Abbott.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're just getting pretty close to our time, but I just want to really say thank you. Like I said, we didn't have an itinerary. Thank you for sharing your stories, laughing. I think this was very therapeutic, and whoever's listening or watching, if you don't have some guys that you can talk to, hey, just get a hold of us. We'll just hop on a show. We'll have some guy talk with anybody.
Yeah.
So I know that we've all had long weeks. I'm glad that George, your back is feeling better. Eric, sorry that you had to, not stay in Indianapolis as long, but I just want to thank you guys for sitting here with me for an hour. I love you guys. And thank you. I appreciate it. I think we need more of this, like, just hop on and just say, hey, let's just start talking about everything and anything. So
that's right.
I appreciate it.
That's where.
So for Mr. Eric Evans, the one with the hat and the porn stash that is famous, he used to do porn back in the day. And the most famous badminton player of all time, Mr. Shuttlecock, George Muzzy. I am JK'z. This has been JK'z Rewatchable Hour. Thank you for watching. Love you all. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, guess what? I can't find the button. Hold on.